The VA secretary said something that I wholeheartedly agree with. There's been many instances that I disagree with the VA secretary, but this one right here is not one of them. I ask that you watch this video and give me your opinion on this. Now, the result after all this is said and done, that's what's left to be determined. But anyways, let's go ahead and hear what he has to say, and I'll give you my 2 cents on this. This is from his Twitter page. I totally should have had this ready. Okay, we're ready. Here we go.
Mission Act was passed when I was actually still in Congress. The president signed it. It's something he's very proud of, and we are as well, because it actually provides what I call a community partnership with our VA health system. So when you look at the two and you see, folks who want to get their care at the VA, and we can do that timely, we can do it faster, we'll do it there. If we can't, or assuming their best medical interest, we'll send them into the community.
Something I noticed here is this lady is so nervous. Her posture, her hands twitching. Breathe, relax. It's okay. It's okay.
Community. So for us, it's fulfilling the law. And so many times, especially in the last administration, they chose to ignore the law. In fact, they actually discouraged people from going into the community, which at the end of the day is, why was that? It was about feeding the VA animal itself, so to speak, and that is the organization. And we're supposed to be about the veteran, not our organization. Our organization should be set up to help our veterans. And I think that we're much better off now where we're at.
Why do you think there was some resistance, and is there still resistance to that effort?
There is. It's territorial. It's the organizational in structure that we're the only ones that can do this, and that we grow ourselves. And that's really one of the things you've seen. We've grown our budget in 10 years, even being on the GAO high risk list, hundreds of billions of dollars and over 100,000 employees. But yet the numbers wasn't getting better. Even through COVID, even coming out of COVID, we had a lot more employees, a lot more money, and we're still seeing backlogs, way up. So, and in our hospitals. So this is the kind of thing that says, money and people are not always your answer. It's the structural processes and what you're focused on. And so for us, it's going to be the veteran, and we're starting to see good results from it.
Okay, there we go. I'll give you my 2 cents here. Food for thought. YouTube is making copyright issues much more difficult right now. So I'm kind of using this as like a testing the waters to see what happens. But anyways, the issue with community is territorial. That's the key phrase that I agree with. There are some aspects here that I disagree with, and I'll go into that. During the Biden administration, there was some leaked communication that strongly encouraged VHA to not let veterans seek community care so that the VA could retain that number. Okay, now listen to me really quick. Whether you like community care or not, the basis of holding and delaying healthcare for a veteran so that the VA can treat that veteran maybe in a few months versus next week, that does not make any sense. I don't care who you are. That's not going to fly. Like, I think we have an objective reasoning there. People will say that the VA healthcare overall is terrible and private is better. And others will say the opposite, that VA is the best of the best. And depending on who you ask, you're going to get a different answer. Okay. Now, something that the VA secretary did talk about, this is what I don't like. The phrase, the territorial aspect of community care, spot on. I agree with that. I think the overwhelming majority of veterans would agree with that. Again, the end result of community care, that's left to, we're going to have to wait a couple years to make our determinations on that. I don't like how we always rope issues that are completely disconnected, right? Like the backlog, we're talking about community care and growing the numbers for healthcare. And then the VA secretary moves that conversation to growing the numbers into the VA disability claim backlog. Just these issues are separate. And I think in my opinion, I think it degrades the secretary's argument here and really puts like a black eye on what he said that was so good to begin with. The VA disability claim backlog, was it due to the Biden administration? Maybe. Okay, but I'll tell you what was a factor. That's the PACT Act. We can't ignore the PACT Act. And I think it would be wrong even if you are a diehard Trump supporter, okay, or a diehard Biden supporter, doesn't matter. I think we can all say that the PACT Act undoubtedly is going to raise the backlog, and a few years later, we have to deal with it. I don't think that has anything to do with community care. If we're going to talk about these issues, they're separate. I wouldn't lump them in the same conversation, and I think it weakens any argument for either side, in my opinion. But community care wise, I totally agree with that. And as always, okay, I want your thoughts on community care because of all the VA changes coming down. There's a lot of them. I've said this from the very beginning, right after the election in November, that community care, of all the changes that are on the table, community care is undoubtedly going to happen. And here we are, summer 2025, and we are seeing that happen right now. And I think we're going to see more community care involvement come here very, 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 very soon. Also, let me know about your VA healthcare experience. I go to the VA in Washington, D.C., and my healthcare has been pretty good. I have no complaints. It's not like the best. I guess I could complain if I want to, but overall, it's pretty solid. In fact, I'm probably not the best patient either, right? I think that's true for a lot of veterans. Anyways, that's all I got. Give me your thoughts down below, and thank you very much.